Here are some things I've learned from anime that have helped me on my self-improvement journey and have helped me grow as a person.
心を燃やせ限界を超えろ俺は縁柱煉獄教授の
If you've been on self-improvement for a while, then you've probably heard somewhere or another that anime isn't very good for you. It's just like cheap, mindless entertainment and doesn't really add any value to your life. But I only partially disagree with this. I think as long as you have like a healthy habit of consuming anime, so like only watching it like mindfully and intentionally, then there are some honestly life-changing lessons that can be found within these like animated shows. And so this video is about some of these lessons that have had the biggest impact on my life personally. Number one is to take massive action constantly. There is a trait that is pretty common to pretty much all anime main characters in that they are always taking massive action constantly. In each episode, they're always doing something or another to kind of progress towards their goals. For example, in Demon Slayer, Tanjiro, he's always either on a mission to like kill some demon or whatever, or he's recovering and resting from his like injuries from a specific mission, or he's training to kind of get stronger so he can like go on more missions, right? And essentially all three of these things all like kind of progress him towards his goal of eliminating like all demons and whatnot, right? And so he's never really just like doing anything else but kind of like focusing on these actions that progress him towards his goals. Like you don't see him just like sitting in a fucking corner twiddling his thumbs or like drinking sake and like gambling in a Japanese gambling parlor, right? And if you really think about like the whole storyline of an anime from start to finish, a lot happens within this storyline, right? There are like a lot of different arcs, a lot of different stories, and essentially throughout this whole story, the main character has always accomplished a lot. And this is because they are always taking massive action constantly. To give another example, think of One Piece, right? Like this anime is like, I think over 1,000 episodes. Like I haven't personally watched all of it, but if you think about all 1,000 episodes from start to finish, imagine how much shit Luffy has actually gotten done within these like episodes, right? It's probably a lot. And again, it's a result of him always taking massive action and constantly working towards his goals. And so this is a pretty important lesson that can translate very well into real life, because essentially if you always take massive action and you constantly work towards your goals, you will accomplish a lot. Side note, of course, this goal that you're relentlessly pursuing has to really mean a lot to you. And this is also kind of pretty common within like these anime main character goals. Like whatever their main goal is of like the story, it's always something that means like a lot to that character, and that's why they're able to kind of relentlessly pursue this goal. And so essentially by taking initiative and taking constant massive action, you will be able to achieve so much more in life than if you were to kind of just like sit there and twiddle your thumbs and like passively wait for good things to like happen to you. You don't see Eren Yeager playing like League of Legends in his fucking room for like 10 episodes straight while waiting for all of his problems to get solved, right? Because that obviously wouldn't make a very good story. And it's important for this story to be good so that more people will watch and so the animation studio can make more episodes and make more money. And so you want to follow this concept in your own life and make like the sickest, most exciting story you possibly can. Lesson number 2 is to master your craft. Having a craft that you're really good at is extremely valuable to you and how others perceive you. If you're really good at a specific craft, you will get a lot more respect from other men and a lot more attraction from other women. So we'll look at Demon Slayer again, and we'll look at this character from the Swordsmith Village arc. This guy is super focused on mastering his craft of like making really good swords that the Demon Slayers can use, right? Like no matter what he's doing, he's always doing something that like makes him better at making swords. And because of this, the swords he makes are like very good, and he has like a lot of respect from other swordsmiths. And so not only is he adding value to his world and society by being good at his craft, he's also garnering a lot of respect from other people because he's so good at what he does. Let's shift our lens to Studio Ghibli and look at some of their characters. So for this movie, Porco Rosso, this guy follows his ideals and he's good at his craft, which is like a fighter jet pilot or something like that. But he's a good fighter jet pilot and he gets the girl. Like, bro is literally a pig and he pulls the girl because he's good at what he does. In Howl's Moving Castle, Howl is like a good like cook and magician and whatever, right? And he's good at like everything that he does. And because of this, he's a very popular character. Even in mainstream anime, we see this concept a lot where there's a character that's really good at what they do. And because of it, they're both really popular within like the anime, within like the characters of the anime, and also within like real life people in like that anime's fan base, right? Like for example, in Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo is literally like the strongest sorcerer, right? So he's good at like being a sorcerer, which is what he does. And because of that, he has like a fucking like K-pop-esque like army/fan base behind him. Similarly, in Attack on Titan, Levi is like humanity's strongest soldier or whatever, right? Because he's really good at what he does and being like a really strong soldier, that's a huge reason and why he's so popular among like Attack on Titan fans. And in Haikyuu, right, this is a fucking volleyball anime. This guy is a really good setter. And him being good at what he does and being a volleyball setter is like a huge reason in like why he's so popular. And so essentially being really good at like some skill or craft will add a lot of value into your life. To give a real life example, if someone is really good at computer programming, they'll essentially either like be able to get paid a lot when working for a company, or they'll be able to, like start their own company and make a fuck ton of money that way, right? And because they're good at what they do, they're able to, one, make a lot of money, and two, have a lot of like respect from other people for being good at like their craft and like at what they do. And three, of course, being good at something makes you attractive to women as well. And this doesn't even have to be something like as studious as computer programming, right? Like look at Messi, for example. He's like a really good like soccer player, right? And it's because he's really good at soccer, he, one, makes a lot of money, he's real famous, has a lot of respect from other people, and he's objectively like, he doesn't look like a model, right? He's objectively quite average looking, but because he's like so good at soccer, which also makes him really rich and like famous as well, he can probably pretty much like pull anyone he wants to. And so this concept of being good at your craft applies to like everyone basically, like, you know, NBA players, NFL players, like basketball, football, being like a good chef, being a good artist or whatever. As long as you're really good at what you do and you have like a craft or skill that you're like really good at, it will add a lot of value to your life. If this video has been helpful or interesting to you so far, please like and subscribe so I can reach more people and help more people. Thanks. The third concept is to never give up. No matter what it takes, I must succeed. This is the mentality and mindset that all anime characters have whenever they're like going through struggles or hardships, right? You'll see like some anime main character like getting their shit beat in by some villain, and they'll still like get up with their like face all beaten up and bruised and bloody and like still try and like defeat the bad guy, right? And so because they have this never give up mentality, it doesn't matter like how many obstacles they have to face or like how many hardships they have to overcome. They have their eyes on their goal, and as long as they never gave up, they will achieve their goal. Again, looking at Demon Slayer, like when Tanjiro's like fighting a demon that might be stronger than him and he's getting his shit beat in, he doesn't just like say, oh my god, this hurts, I give up, and just like let all of his homies die and then just like give up on the mission, right? No, he kind of like pushes through and always like ends up successful at the very end. And it's because of this never give up mentality that he's able to kind of like push through, right? And so if you can get this mentality in real life and use it to achieve your goals, you will be unstoppable. So one of my goals is to become financially free, right? And it doesn't matter how many YouTube videos I have to put out, how many like obstacles or hardships I have to face, how many things I have to figure out, how many business models I have to try and like fail. As long as I never give up, I will eventually achieve my goal. And pretty much all successful people have the same tenacity and relentlessness, and like that's the reason that they're successful. So essentially, if you have a goal, no matter how big it is, as long as you keep at it and you don't give up, then you will be able to achieve that goal. And like that's why they say if there's a will, there's a way. Finally, number 4 is to always be kind. All truly strong people are kind. Being kind is good, everyone knows that, and it's quite easy to be kind when you're like in a good mood or you're happy. It's a lot more difficult to be kind when you're angry or frustrated or things don't really go your way and you have every excuse not to be kind. But that's when truly strong people can still be kind. Again, let's look at Demon Slayer as the example for this. Every time Tanjiro kills a demon, he's always kind to them at their end, even though that demon has probably like killed and eaten a lot of people and like caused a lot of pain and just doesn't deserve any kindness at all. Even after all of this, Tanjiro is like still kind to them when they're like dying and like fading away. And this is a prime example of being kind even when you have every excuse not to be. And this has many real world applications. One of the biggest examples is with Asian parents, right? A lot of us growing up, we probably didn't have like the best relationships with our Asian parents because they were either like harsh on us or made us like do math when we didn't want to do math. But when you grow up, you kind of realize that like they're human too and they make mistakes too. And at the end of the day, they just like really wanted what's best for you, even if they didn't like go about it the best way. And so obviously you should always be kind to your like parents, even if it feels very difficult to do so. Another good example is in self-improvement, right? If you're watching this video, then chances are you've probably been improving yourself for a good while and doing all these good habits. And chances are that you also probably have a lot of friends who aren't really on self-improvement and kind of don't really do many good habits and still do a lot of bad habits. And it's imperative that you are still kind to them. Like I understand cutting people off that you no longer want in your life, but that's kind of a different story than trying to like bring the homies up with you, right? The end goal is to kind of have them improve themselves as well, right? And so the way to do that is to be kind and encouraging to them and kind of lead by example and not by like shitting on them. And so essentially kindness is extremely important and it really speaks to your character. And the better you are at being kind to people, the stronger you are. So that wraps up this video. Those are some lessons that I've learned from anime that have had a pretty big impact in my life and in making me a better person and helping me grow as a person. Actually, real quick, another quick point. When you see anime characters train, you've probably seen them like train their like, you know, fighting skills and like combat skills or whatever, and like their like physical strength and whatnot. But you've probably also seen them like train their mind as well. And that's like another thing. You can also like train your mind in real life to make it more powerful and like more useful. And that's like honestly amazing to think about. But that'll be a topic for another video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so more people can see it so I can help more people. Make sure to join my Discord for a community of people that are on self-improvement. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time and bye-bye.